So this is the second race of the AOR round 6, season 15 at Nurburgring GP. This is the longer race where the top 8 from the first race will be reversed. The bottom 7 will stay as they were, with LSD, who disconnected before the race got started. He will start 15th. While we have this time, I was going to do it before the previous race in qualifying, but I got my PS4 froze and we couldn't get back in, so Mr. Kazalski, with his poor showing in Donington, only has a 22-point lead over Danny, but he did just win that race. Danny is a 14 ahead of Chicano, and Chicano is 6 ahead of Schwantz, but again, Schwantz didn't have a great race just there, threw it in the wall at the Schumacher S. Kart is 5th, another 14 behind. Another one to have a pretty poor race. Bren in 6th with 139 behind Kart. He was fighting for 2nd until collision with Spence, which I suspect we may see in the stewards. Archie 7th, who hasn't been able to make it all night, unfortunately, due to connection issues, which is a shame for Archie. He's had some good results this season, especially his podium at Rapuna. Spence sits in 8th. He came 3rd in the last race after a penalty. And I suspect if it got put to the stewards, he could likely get another one. JR in 9th. Again, another unlucky race for him. Having to avoid some collisions and picking up front end damage. With Vance 10th, Martin 11th, Gilo 12th, Slicker 13th, Berno 14th, and then Twiggy in 15th. And then LSD high. So it'll be Pren who has to go to the front. So of course, the top 8 reversed in this race. So Mr. Kaksalski won, he will start 8th. Pren, who came 8th, will be on pole. JR is going to the front. He should be at the back. There should be Pren pole, because I'm sure it's only the top 8 reversed. The grid was posted in the PS messages chat of where everyone should start. I don't know if someone's gotten onto him. I think Pren's trying to signal it by going ahead of him. Well, the car's behind him. Oh, well. We've had a spin on the formation lap. Hunt is going to have some time getting his way back up. No one's taking the initiative to pass JR other than Pren. Wonder if JR would maybe recognise that he's got, you know, Pren and Chicano, Slicker, all those around him, and that he probably should be at the other end of the grid. I think it is P13 he should be starting, if I'm correct. P14. One of the two. So he might already be in trouble before this race even gets going. I believe the form-up point is after the chicane. Don't really want them forming before the chicane and trying to go through there too wide. Even at low speed, it's clumsy. JR takes his place. I'm going to double check the grid that was sent. JR should be 13th, so he's 11 positions ahead. There should be Chicano alongside him, but Pren chooses when to go. He's left it late, he's gone now. Does anyone jump anyone? Looks like Mr. Kaczalski's had a good start. He's already jumped a few. Marty has already got slicker. Mr. Kaczalski back in 8th, so he's dropped after his good start. Well, it's 3 wide through here. That almost didn't work. Bollard's being sent flying. Spence just tucks in back in front of Gilo. Oh, and Twiggy's round. He gave a tap into the side of car. There's the other newcomer, LSD High, in his Irish TV car. That could be my car. I'm of Irish descent. Not actually Irish though, but hey ho. Still, Pren that leads. I think if something does happen between JR and someone else up the front, I think his might not go down too well. It is still the same order at the front. Mr. Kaczalski already made a couple of moves forward. Cart doesn't seem affected from his hitting the side from Twiggy. We saw Twiggy crumble under pressure at the end of the last race. This Cart going to make a double move on the 2 Ferraris. Oh, Gilo's come right. That's hit Marty into Gilo. And then it's sort of... Well, unfortunately Marty's gone with them, but it's kind of karma. He started it all, and he's one of the ones that's come off worst. He's actually still come off better than Marty, so Marty might feel pretty aggrieved there. I'm sure Cart was probably thinking, what on earth is going on? Mr. Kaczalski has passed Slicker. Slicker under attack from Schwantz. JR attacking Pren. Oh, it looks like he was going to go down the inside. Spence hasn't had a great start. He started 6th, he's down to 9th. And that's including the Ferrari crash. So it really was not a good start for him. And his LSD High behind him hasn't had a chance to show his skills. Disconnected before race 1 started. He was very laggy in qualifying. It looks like it's all a bit better now. Pren's gone deep, got himself a time penalty. JR slips into the lead. Again, this whole formation lap thing is hanging over him. And I'm probably going to say it a lot during the race, but it is very important for how this race turns out. They're all going towards the pit wall, Chicano following them. I guess the only thing JR can do now is just create a huge lead. Actually looks like Danny has passed LSD High, and Vance is perhaps going to have a look at him, not quite. Vance has Twiggy. Twiggy who gained a few places from the Ferrari crash. Vance almost getting sideways through turn 5, where he spun on the formation lap. Oh! Cart is round. Good. It looks like someone has clipped him. was going to say good reactions from everyone to avoid it, but looks like he did get a clip. It might have been Twiggy that gave him the hit. So I think Vunt's got out of the way in time. It's a double disaster for Cart. We saw him round in the first race. Coming on to the back straight. So that looked like a mistake from the Irish TV Lamborghini. Bernal gets passed by Spence. Is Danny going to take the chance into the chicane? Bernal opting not to defend. They've come together. Did Danny move over on Bernal, or did Bernal not give room? Bernal hasn't waited, so I guess he feels the blame lays firmly at the Mercedes door. If a driver usually feels like it's their fault, they will wait. Bernal obviously feeling that Danny came right into him. And there's Vunt, Marty and Gillo. Martin won't be feeling in the best mood to let Gillo through. Great Project Cars cameras. Oh, Gillo's into the back of Marty again. Oh, who's round now? It's Bernal. And his race is going from bad to worse. Involved in a crash with Danny now around. Slicker is still holding on in 5th place. He's managed to hold off the threat from Schwantz just now. Kaczalski is on the back of Chicano, but how quickly can he pass the Lamborghini? I would say technically right now Pren has the race lead. Who knows what JR could get after the race? Will it be a time penalty? Will it just be complete disqualification? That is up to the stewards to decide, because, well, I'm sure something like that's not just going to go unnoticed and not looked at. Schwantz is onto the back of Slicker, just no openings just yet. Well, so these two almost side by side into the final corner again. We know how that ended up last time. Bernal's moved ahead of Cart, so either Cart went round again or his front end damage is just hurting him so badly. Marty and Gillo are going at it with Danny just behind. All three involved in crashes. Pretty much in the last couple of corners. Fons is just up ahead. Whoa! What has happened here? I saw Chicano and Mr. Kaczalski's names moving on the board. I see Chicano sideways, a Slicker fly across the screen. Mr. Kaczalski is going slow. I guess he feels whatever happened was his fault. He's not let Chicano through though. I guess he thinks that Chicano took so much damage. He's now minus rear wing. You may as well not fight Vuntz into there. You can see how little grip he has. There's something astronomical went on at turn 6. Saw the names moving, thought we'd look, and well, just in time. Not in time to see what on earth actually happened. Something happened obviously between Chicano and Mr. Kaczalski, and then something happened with Slicker. He went flying across the road. His front bumper's now hanging off. Who was behind Slicker? Trying to remember, I think it was Schwantz, who is now ahead of him. Whether Slicker's accident was an avoidance of whatever happened between the others. or whether he had his own incident with Schwantz at the time. But I imagine we're going to see that Demon Tweaks Lamborghini in the background. Yes, there it is, into the pits. So, it's been about the worst opening lap, or not opening lap, it's the worst lap you could possibly have as a team. Both cars damaged and into the pits. JR's making a lead over Pren. I mean, if he gets a large time penalty, the only thing he can do is make a huge gap. Although whether that'll be deemed fair, because he's technically had, well, 11 less cars to try and pass. LSD High has come from the back up to 5th. That just shows you what keeping your nose clean in a race can do. Vunt touches the gravel at 6, Alex Marty through. Isn't it going to let Gilo through? They're going to be side by side into the hairpin. Danny's going to try and go in any opening that Gilo makes. In fact, no, Danny's going to try and go into the gravel. Vunt goes into the gravel and goes round. Well, today is almost like they've told the drivers, like they're doing in the V8 Supercars fun race, they're having a no rules race. It looks like it sort of happened here today. There's so many spins and crashes. It is not like these guys. Normally you get some great close racing. I mean, crashes and spins causes chaos and excitement, but you'd rather the excitement come from good racing and overtaking, not cars backwards, upside down, in every which way. And JR right now is absolutely blitzing the rest of the field. 57.2, Prem was a 59.6. If he had started in his correct position and kept out of the trouble, he could have won this race on merit. Not that he's not in the lead right now on merit, but LSD High looking at the back of Spence Mercedes for P4. Gilo still on the back of Marty. Danny there in the background going deep into turn 1. These two have been like this for a while. How long until people get frustrated, try something, and it ends in a crash? So based on how this race has gone, it's more likely to end up in a crash than a battle. Cart, after he was round at the next couple of corners in turn 6, you can see the front left corner of the Mercedes sticking up. After he was round, it got collected. He's sitting in 13th, trying to fight his way back through. He has a Berno in the Audi to contend with. Vunt after a spin, a 2-minute 12. Marty's off. He's gone off with the Schumacher S. That promotes Gilo and Danny. Kakzalski is on the back of LSD High and Spence. There seems to be a theme so far this race. Packs of 3. And well, he might have been out of position, but no one can take away from JR just how quick he is in this race. I mean, who knows, if he makes 20-30 seconds over Pren, I don't know if the stewards will allow it, but he could void any penalty he gets. So I'm sure if he finished so far ahead, they might just DSQ or something. I'm not sure what the sort of penalty is for being out of position on the formation lap by 11 positions. It might be a little lenient if it's, you know, 1 or 2 positions. Spence, LSD and Mr. Kwiatkowski. So 2 Mercedes and a Lamborghini. That's pretty much all the AOR leagues are, is Mercedes, Ferraris and Lambos. We have 2 Audis in here. One today with Berno, the other one's missing due to internet issues. Which is a shame for Archie, and the LSD highest car is starting to become a little bit jittery again, like we saw in quali. Before his eventual disconnect. You can see, in fact, is that Mr. Kwiatkowski down the inside. You can see Mr. Kwiatkowski's car is going around the corner smoothly, LSD's car is sort of jerking around the corner. And if that's happening on the Mr. Kwiatkowski's screen, he's not going to want to stay behind that Lamborghini for long. Because a car can jitter back into you and completely wipe you out of the race. I've had it happen on P-cars. P-cars isn't the best for dealing with lag. They're still side by side, as jittery as it is. It's a good fight. Mr. Kwiatkowski has got it done. He'll be relieved if he's seeing the same thing as I am. So our commentator's cursed his internet. I said it looks better than quali. It's sort of come back to how it was. Pren going off. Pren not liking the second race. GR obviously liking it. Car is in. Trying to remember if it's a mandatory stop in these longer second races, because it's not the sort of standard one big race like it was all of last season. But all of last season, I'm sure it was all quali and all standard one race events. Now we have like 2 race events like we had at Rouen. We've had various championship order grids and everything. Attempts to mix it up. Danny is not really making an impression on Gilo after Marty made a mistake and let them through. Perhaps Gilo has unleashed some pace, perhaps driving a bit angry after they came together with Cart at the final corner. Cart got away unscathed, Gilo and Marty certainly did not. We've seen about everyone around Danny crash here with Berno. We didn't quite see who moved into who, but the direction they went off, it would suggest Danny moved into Berno, but we didn't see. That's just my assumption based on how it looked. In fact, Schwantz has Pren. So is this going to mean for JR's attempt at making a huge lead to protect any sort of penalty? It might all be in vain, like I say. It could be that he gets disqualified. Pren not wanting to let it go. It's been very sloppy this race. He looked quick in race 2 until he, in race 1 in P2 and P3 fighting for P2 until he ended up in this gravel trap here after a collision with Spence. I feel after tonight there's going to be a few incidents in the stewards room. Schwantz, is he going to repeat what he did in race 1? Not quite. He manages to keep it out of a wall, but he does let Pren through in the process. Schwantz almost a carbon copy of what he did in race 1. Kept it in a straight line this time and not facing into a wall. Danny still a bit behind Gilo. 2 chick-slip cars. Just about the 1 and a bit seconds apart. So they both pitted early on in that crazy instant just out of this next corner. We didn't really see what happened. We were on board with, I think it was Mr. Kwiatkowski. And we saw chicane without a rear wing. Slicker flew across the screen. And I hope at some point we see a replay of that, whether that's on the forums or in the steward's room. Twiggy still on the back of LSD, so the two guys fighting. The two new guys fighting in the debuts. The race one didn't go so well. LSD disconnecting. Twiggy sort of cracked under pressure and let a few cars through at the end. Now Gilo and Danny in the background, maybe closing them in. Looks like at this stage though, Twiggy is definitely quicker. LSD with a 2:02. Which would pretty much point to that fact that Twiggy is a bit quicker. Is he going to have any chance into the Dunlop hairpin? Shows his nose. That scares the other Lamborghini wide. A little nudge in the exit, but he gets through. On to 5th place. Some drivers are put off by that, a show of the nose. Some aren't affected. Some people you could do it to all day and they're not going to flinch the slightest bit. Some drivers just show a nose and they dive out your way. It worked for Twiggy there. Schwantz after his mistake, letting Pren through. Remember, like I said, this could be for the race win. Well, Pren isn't going to be involved in the race win if he does that. He's around. Is he going to let Mr. Kexalski through? He's not. But he's let Schwantz pretty much get away. In fact, the other Lamborghinis aren't far behind. Pren is really not getting on with race 2. Anytime we've seen him, he's sideways in the grass, doing something. And now he's going to face the championship leader behind him. LSD High is starting to drop off the back of Twiggy, and in fact starting to slip towards these two. Danny's not making any impression on Gilo so far. The two chick-slick cars quite close. Doesn't look like there's any team orders. And if there's no mandatory pit stops in this race too, which I can't remember, did we have Rouen? I read through the settings and rules for both of these races, but I can't remember. So if there's no pit stops, well then, I mean, they're not really fighting for much, are they? Down to 13th and 14th. Their only hopes are if others crash and have to pit. Oh well. LSD High certainly done something. He's down to 9th place behind Marty. Oh, Marty into the gravel, and Schumacher S keeps it in the right direction. We saw him lose places to Gilo and Danny up ahead for a similar mistake earlier on. This time he keeps it pointing in the right direction and on the tarmac. It's been a incident-filled race, and oh, Pren, another mistake. Not as bad as last time. And he could have Twiggy closing them down. And if Twiggy passes Pren, it could be a podium. GLR up front has pretty much checked out. Well, he'll be checked out of the results sheet afterwards. So there's drama, controversy, incidents all the way through this race. Maybe there's been so many incidents, everyone's so spread out, it might start to settle down. Two chick-slick cars going back into the chicane. They'll just be going, oh, Pren's off again. Twiggy's gone through into P4, so he could have a podium on debut. Gilo and Danny are behind. I think that shows you how bad it's gotten for Pren. Gilo and Danny were both involved in accidents. Gilo had his crash with Marty at the final corner. Danny had his crash with Berno at the chicane. Didn't really see what happened with Danny, but certainly looked like Gilo squeezed unnecessarily in his incident when it was 3 wide. I don't know if you've realised it was 3 wide. It's very easy to do that in a game like this where you have no sort of radar or anything. Sometimes you don't realise there's a third car there and you try and squeeze the car that you think is on your inside over and he's in the middle and starts hitting another car. Oh, Pren. That's Gilo through, that's Danny through. Where will Pren be by the end of this? It's not going great for him. Schwantz, I guess. I wonder how many of the drivers know this whole thing is looming over JR. Does Schwantz know that he doesn't really need to close? Sorry, I yawned. Does he know that he doesn't really need to close? Or is he thinking 16 seconds, how the hell am I going to make that up? Like I say, if JR right now got a 30-second penalty, he'd be behind Pren. Although the way Pren's going, he'd definitely end up ahead of Pren. Or is it going to be complete removal? I can't see it being a light penalty, whatever it is. Sorry if I'm drooling on, but it is quite an important feature to this race. It's a bit of controversy, if we call it. LSD high on the back of Marty, 7/10. And one thing I've noticed about pretty much all the Lamborghinis in this game is they near enough have the same design as the Gardex car, just minus a few features. Slicker has a little bit of a gap to Chicano now. Whether Chicano's made a mistake or they've just agreed not to set right behind each other. So I know if you're trying to press on, you've got your teammate tucked up right behind you. It can put you off. I've certainly had it before. Well, Spence is at half round. Yeah, I've had it before when me and a teammate have agreed, let's stick where we are, try and push forward. And then tucked up half a tenth behind you, you start getting worried about them hitting you, outbreaking themselves into you, accidentally tapping you, pushing you wider. I have had to ask them to back off before. Or sometimes if I just feel they're quicker, I'll let them go. Whether that's happened between them two or Chicano's made a mistake, I could be making a mountain out of a molehill. And Twiggy is actually falling back towards these two. So Gilo and Danny are catching on the Lamborghini. I would say the way this race has gone, pretty much the whole field's results are gonna be provisional. I mean, I think one of the few people we're not going to see have instance over them is the Chick Slick cars and Schwantz. Most other people have been involved in something. I think Twiggy's had a pretty clean race. We saw a cart round and then get collected by someone. where these three will hopefully provide some entertainment towards the end of the race. Spenced on the back of LSD High, we saw Spenced sideways around turn 1 last time. Sorry about my dog. Someone is coming home and she gets excited. This usually happens when, well, I mean, this race, 2 races have gone on for, well, nearly 2 hours, so we are here for quite a while every night. Especially with these split up races. This race is going to end at about 10 PM UK time, so it takes a fairly long time. If we'd had just the one race, we'd probably be done by now, maybe even 10 minutes ago. These two still just hanging out. I think by now we've realised that there's not going to be any pit stops other than damage. So a lot of people would have taken theirs by now. This man, well, he's absolutely crushed the race, but I feel like he's not gonna be able to keep it. Spenced has passed LSD and is, in fact, no, Gilo's had a moment. He's gone all the way from P5 to P10. He's been collected by Vance. Not really collected, it was just a small tap with a slightly bigger consequence. Gilo obviously feels a bit aggrieved by it. Vance not waiting. Perhaps Vance feeling that Gilo moved or something. Oh, Vance is around. Well, Gilo's got the place back anyway. Danny not quite applying the pressure to Twiggy just yet. Pren was quicker than them last time around. Has Pren finally got to grips with how his car feels in this race. Pren looks like he's made another mistake, as I praised him, because Marty and Spence are now ahead of him. It's perhaps calming down a little towards the end. There's still cars close, but not really much fighting. Pren has a 1 second penalty. Chicano has 10 seconds. So whether Chicano has been really abusing track limits or speeding into the pit lane or something. And it's going to be Spence or Marty maybe at the end. We've seen Spence already have a collision in this corner. Is he going to get through cleanly this time? Side by side, Marty's going to have the inside. Spence lets the Ferrari slot back in. Sensible move. Is Spence now going to lose out to Pren? Not quite. LSD slightly dropping off the back of this lot. JR has extended his lead to 20 seconds. When he's in the zone where 30 seconds penalty, he stays third. I think the farther and farther ahead he gets, I think it's more likely to be a disqualification. But are these three gonna provide the entertainment towards the end? In fact, these three are closer. We've got two battles now in the closing phases. So of course, knowing me, we're going to catch the wrong battle at the wrong time, and we're going to mess something with the other. Oh, Twiggy's round, Danny's into him. They're now going to need to be careful of behind. Because, well, they're now both going to have front end damage. And Spence 2.9 behind the pair of them. Remember, if JR gets 30 seconds, which would put him second now, by the way, or if JR gets disqualified, fourth is the podium. So we could have about 5 or 6 cars fighting for the podium. Of course, in a crash like that, nobody at fault. Twiggy round, Danny didn't have time to react. Well, they're surely going to have some sort of front aero and suspension damage. Spence is closing. That'll be so disappointing for the pair of them if they lose their positions. You can see just over 2 seconds to the pair. I think Danny might be better off right now. He's pulling away. Either that or he just had the pace all along over Twiggy. But they freed up Mr. Kakzalski, and for once we actually caught the right battle at the right time. Spence not actually closing quite quick. I thought he was initially closing, but he's not, despite the fact that, well, it seems quite clear the other two have front aero damage. We'll see what Danny can get on the straight, and then we'll see what Spence gets. Danny braked with 143 mile an hour. Yeah, Spence 5 mile an hour up on this back straight. So there's definitely aero damage to the two cars. But yeah, they can't catch them. In fact, Pren, who was our pole setter, after he was the only one to say to JR, hang on, that's not where you're supposed to be. I mean, if you're supposed to be pole setter, you would say that. You'd think, no, that's my pole position. Whereas everyone else would just think, oh, I'll just sort it afterwards, in the stewards. But Pren now facing some pressure from LSD with 2 laps to go. While JR is coming into the final, or it's supposed to be the final sector on any other game. This game, the final sector is just before the chicane, so JR is just over a lap to go. While everyone else is sort of either in the first or halfway through the middle sector. Oh, and something else must happen to Twiggy. He's down in 10th. Danny's still in 4th, so he's holding the technically podium possession as of right now. But I think Danny has enough to hold on. 4 seconds. I think he needs to not stick it in a wall. LSD has got Pren. There's Gilo in the background. Pren, I think it's fair to say, has had one of his worst races in a long time. If this was a normal race where not everyone's crashing into each other and spinning, he'd be pretty much at the back. It's been a nightmare race for the Czech slick cars. It's just been a very bad event for kart. Not had luck in either races. We'll see if Gilo can make anything of Pren. Spence, I think, is clear of, or Danny is clear of Spence. 4 seconds with 1 lap to go. LC feeling the need to go defensive on Pren. Check the penalty still. Yep, 1 and 10 seconds. 1 for Pren, 10 for Chicano. It's not going to affect him. He would still be ahead of kart. And while that's the thing, there's no point in trying to pass Slicker. I mean, the way he's beaten Slicker by 10 seconds, if Slicker finds the nearest wall. Marty's getting close to Spence. JR comes into the final sector. Through the chicane. Oh, almost loses it. Now's not the time. He rounds the final corner. Drifting. Oh. Into the wall. Well, it's a good thing he had such a big lead. Kart comes around the corner and thinks, what the hell, that's the race leader. But JR wins a race that I'm sure is going to be shrouded in controversy. Gilo has got Pren. Schwantz will take 2nd. Mr. Kakzalski will take 3rd. Like I said, a lot of this grid is definitely gonna be provisional. Danny is gonna take 4th place in what I presume will be the final podium spot once it's all said and done. Spence will take 5th, just ahead of Marty and LST. LST takes 7th on his actual debut. Gilo in 8th. She had his crash with Marty, which could be looked at. Pren, who just had an absolute nightmare. He will finish 9th, and he will not be happy about that one. Vance come around the final corner in 10th place. Not such a good race too for him. Bernal, he was involved in that crash with Danny. Didn't wait, obviously felt Danny was at fault. Twiggy will take 12th. He had a late spin. 2 Czech slick cars will cross the line in 13th and 14th. And it's just Kart, who would have been finished by now if it wasn't for JR's spin. he just has. One corner to go to top what has been a poor day for him. I'm sure he's gonna wipe this one from his memory pretty quickly. And cross the line, 15th and last. So, that was a pretty crazy and mental race too. GR taking fastest lap, it looks like. Pren actually had pace, 57.4. Just couldn't do it consistently. He was very inconsistent. But a lot of this order that you see right now is gonna be provisional. Gilo could be in trouble for the final corner. Danny could be in trouble for his crash with Berno. JR is definitely going to be in trouble for his start. But let's hope you join us next time for round 7.